we could just let people make sure they never find out that you are a very dumb person too. Oh no,
Yes,
we're live.
Oh,
no.
Don't tell them.
Oh no.
My reputation.
Oh shit. I got my background erased. Let me get you here, and then I'll fix that.
And it's time to be. Oh my god, yeah. You look funny. Oh, what am I doing? Nothing.
All right.
Nothing at all.
I can fix that here. Hello, everybody. We're getting started.
Wait, is this episode 41 or episode 42?
I don't know. You tell me.
That's a good. Okay, let's see. So last week was 40. And this, okay, I guess it's 41. I think we may have at some point missed one, but that, you know what, Jeff, that doesn't even really matter. We don't really need to number the episodes.
Yeah, no one ever says anything about it. No one's ever like, I can't wait for episode 42.
This week. Yeah. Like, wow, my favorite was episode 35, man. It really went down after episode 38, though. All right. We got the rundown.
Yeah, Gilbert Gottfried died, so I'm sad. I like Gilbert Gottfried.
What?
Yeah, he died. Sorry, that's why I was listening to him when you got on the call.
Wait, when?
Just now. We are heartbroken to announce the passing of our beloved Gilbert Gottfried after a long illness. In addition to being the most iconic voice in comedy, Gilbert was a wonderful husband, brother, friend, and father to his two young children. Well, today is a sad day for all of us. Please keep laughing as loud as possible in Gilbert's honor.
Oh, that's sad. I had no idea.
His aristocrats joke at the roast of Hugh Hefner is just incredible. It's legendary. I actually just tweeted it. So
he always, not only do I think of Iago with him, but I like those Problem Child movies. That he was on
an episode of Celebrity Wife Swap where you have to like live with the other person's husband for a while, and I don't know. He was very good on that. Okay, We're getting started. We're just making sure we have everything. Mike's getting the roundup in order.
I'm just going to tweet now.
I'm going to hit the right thing here. Next profile. That looks right.
Hey, you guys hear me? Stop
cheering now. The kid is not crying, so that's a good sign. Okay. Looking good, feeling good.
Yes, I think I am ready.
All right, we're going to put on Lilo and Stitch for her, is what she's saying.
Mikey approves of that.
She's clearly very tired. It was her first day back to school in a while, and she fell asleep in the car in like the 5-minute ride home. So it's like, okay, you're tired. You need to lay down. And Lilo and Stitch is always like, she just kind of zones out.
Vibes with it?
Yeah, she vibes with it. And she's like,
it's a good movie.
Yeah. It's like she pays attention to it enough that she like tires her out.
Oh, I like Lilo and Stitch a lot.
Okay, it's dining room TV, and then Lilo. Play. Okay. She did say Luca, but she never pays attention to Luca. She likes it. Also, I'm afraid she
likes it.
I'm afraid. Well, I mean, I don't know. She just like will watch the first 5 minutes and then wander off.
Are you afraid she's getting attracted to the fish people? Is that what you're about to say?
I'm getting worried that she, we moved to Colorado. We believe in mountains and cold, crisp, plenty air. I'm afraid she might be living on that island time. She's like into Lilo and Stitch and Luca.
Yeah, Lilo and Stitch. Don't worry. Well, Ohio's like, she's gonna be close to Lake Erie. Maybe that'll be enough to satiate her.
Okay. I'm good, Mike. Are you good?
Yes, I am ready.
We tested the audio. It looked good. All right. So I'm going to do a countdown. I'm going to hit record, and then we're going to get into this in 5, 4, 3.
Hey, you guys hear me? Start cheering now! Let's get this over with.
Oh, you can't?
No.
Okay, hang on. I'll fix that. Sorry, everybody. It's just the routing from when I was doing the live stream. I'll be able to fix that right here. You are on the chat, so what do you need? You need, that was this audio right here.
Yes,
Properties.
Possum Theory, I do.
You need music. Okay, so the music needs to be routed to chat mic.
Jeff, did you tweet?
Hey, you
No,
guys
I
hear
will, though.
me?
You hear it
Start
now?
cheering now.
I do. I'm ready to cheer. Too pissy.
Okay, here we go. 5, 4, 3.
Hey, you guys hear me? Start cheering now. Yeah, let's get this over with. Yeah.
Woof woof. Hi, I'm Mike Minotti, and I am a Nintendog.
Hi, I'm Jeff Grubb, and I am a Nintendog.
And we are the last of the Nintendogs.
Woof, 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 woof.
Today, Nintendo's exciting real estate venture, Kingdom Hearts 4, and our favorite Nintendo launch games. Jeff, how's it going?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Pretty tough weekend for me, personally.
Because of Kingdom Hearts?
I mean, I don't like talking about it, but yeah, I mean, I don't want to be like someone, oh, woe is me, but yeah, pretty tough.
I get to give you another lecture about how it's really cool that Kingdom Hearts hate is part of your personality now.
Yeah.
Part of your identity.
Yeah. Listen, I don't want to be trying to ruin other people's fun. I want to make it clear. This is a personal attack on me that it exists. That's what it is. So
you're just mad because you were asked on Grubb Snacks if Kingdom Hearts 4 was getting announced this weekend, and you said no.
But I also clarified that was because I believe in justice and good things in the
well,
world.
Justice isn't real. Justice doesn't exist.
Yeah, so I mean, of course they announced it, and it's here, and we all have to deal with it in our own way.
I was really lucky. I had some of the worst sleep ever the past few days for various different reasons. Last night was fun, at least, because my brother had a baby. But we were all like waiting.
Congratulations
for
to them!
Yes.
I'm very happy for them.
Yes, it's great. But of course, the baby wasn't born until like 10 a.m. I was like, I could have just gotten a normal night's sleep. I didn't need to stay up all night. But I also couldn't sleep on Saturday night / Sunday morning. And that was when like Kingdom Hearts 4 got announced. And I was like, oh, I can write this because I'm the only weirdo who's up right now. So for a little bit, I think I was first on that one. So it tickled my funny bone a bit that for at least a brief period of time, if you Googled Kingdom Hearts 4, I came up first.
Yeah, it's always fun when that happens. And, that was the stars aligning because... I mean, you are the Kingdom Hearts fan. It is a game for you.
It is.
Mike, what the hell is it? I watched it. I watched it, and it's like, okay, they're going more realistic. That could just be a world, though, right? Because they always change the way it looks in the worlds. So, I don't know what's happening.
They almost certainly will. So this has actually all been set up pretty specifically in Kingdom Hearts 3 for reasons I won't go too far into. But basically, Sora dies. But because it's a video game, when you die, you just go to a different world that's mostly like
with
a
the
normal
King
world,
Kamea
right?
or whatever it is from Dragon Ball, right? Yeah, totally.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, the lamest version of the afterlife, where it's just like you're moving to Kansas or something, or in this case, Tokyo. But it's not actually Tokyo, and I won't bore you with all the lore details, Jeff. But
thank you.
Yeah, even in Kingdom Hearts 3, every time you went to a world, Sora's look would be different. And when you went to the Pirates of the Caribbean world, it even made him look a bit more realistic. This is just that kind of cranked up even higher. I know you love the word crank being associated with Kingdom Hearts.
Oh, yeah, man. I'd love to crank the Kingdom Hearts. Yep.
Yeah, it's coming to play date soon. But, so the trailer also makes it clear that Donald and Goofy are looking for Sora. They're even going to Hades for help, which makes sense because Hades knows about, underworlds and death and all that stuff.
Yeah. Is James Woods going to be there?
Oh yeah, that's one. I think it's one of the reasons why they always have Hades in all these games because James Woods does not say no.
Right, and he's probably pretty cheap. So,
yes, so they can get him because otherwise he's just probably saying racist shit on Twitter, right?
Yes.
So, yeah, it'll be fine. But yeah, so there'll be this. This will be like the starting level, this kind of Tokyo place, and then from there. Now, I do think that this is an excuse to be able to use more live action based levels than even Kingdom Hearts 3 did or some of the other ones.
Right.
Because they can kind of use this as a basis. And, eagle-eyed fans have already noticed that in the opening some of these opening shots of that teaser, there's like this forest area. It sure looks a lot like Endor,
It
and
does
they
look
can
like
see
Endor.
what absolutely looks like an ATST foot.
Yep.
Yeah, and you know, the director Tetsuya Nomura, even before Kingdom Hearts 3, he was getting almost hounded by fans and journalists like me, like, is Star Wars and Marvel coming? Star Wars Marvel. He was trying to be like, no, this is like, oh, Pixar is here finally. Aren't you happy about that? Like, no, new, next, what? So I don't think he was ever going to do it unless Disney gave him Marvel and Star Wars 4. And why wouldn't they? Kingdom Hearts 3 was a big success.
Right.
And it's not like Disney is shy about just throwing those brands at every multimedia project in the world. So Star Wars looks like absolutely a certainty, and I'm sure there is going to be at least one Marvel world as well.
Is it? I'm gonna stop myself. Okay. It is like this is we're on the Nintendo podcast. They put all the Kingdom Hearts games out on the Nintendo Switch in cloud versions.
Yes.
Should a Nintendo fan who is like on the Switch, or maybe even like looking forward to a Switch 2, have any faith that this is going to show up on their platform?
Well, it's kind of like what we talked about, last week or the week before that with the new Tomb Raider, right? It's basically the same situation. It's a Square Enix game that's years away, so it'll come out when the Switch 2 is probably a thing, and it's an Unreal Engine 5 game, right? And yet somehow it still feels less likely for whatever reason. I guess just given because of the weird cloud version releases of Kingdom Hearts. And like that just releasing those have put them in such a weird spot now, because it's like, can they ever release non-cloud versions of the game on the Switch or Switch 2 now? I don't know. Now, Kingdom Hearts 4, we don't know what platforms it's coming out for at all, to be clear.
Right.
Kingdom Hearts 3 came out for Xbox and PlayStation, so it has a better chance of being multi-platform than, say, like some of the pure Final Fantasy.
No, I heard someone on Twitter say that it was going to be timed exclusive to PlayStation 5.
Yeah, he had a good screenshot. Well, Jeff, that was a joke. He was joking.
Oh, okay, yeah. It's always you can always tell when it's like, oh, I'm purposely lying, and that's the joke. Haha.
Yes. So people don't know, Jeff got into a slight Twitter spat with somebody who just like faked a tweet of you saying that.
It's okay to do that if you just make it obvious it's parody. Like, just make it obvious it's a joke. It was
just a lie.
It was just a lie. Like, it was a lie, and it was like causing me trouble. I'm like, I don't. Why do I have to put up with this? Because you want to have a lie that only you know is a joke. So yeah, I'm like, fuck it, delete it, and he didn't. So I'm like, everyone report it, and everyone did. And then he was like, sorry.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I imagine that. So the other kind of interesting, they did also announce a new like mobile game. So, you know, Kingdom Hearts 3 and 4 Kingdom Hearts 2 and 3 had a 14-year wait between because there are all these spin-offs. And one reason why I'm not super surprised they announced this relatively early is I knew they weren't going to do that again. They were going to just want to make Kingdom Hearts 4, because those are the ones that absolutely sell like bonkers here. But they also still can't help themselves, and we are getting one spin-off at least, and it's going to be coming to mobile. Although it certainly has the look of something that can be ported to Switch if they wanted to. So maybe that is what we're going to be getting on the Switch, Jeff.
Yeah, maybe.
New mobile games whose name I'm trying to look up because I can't even remember the name of it anymore. It's another mobile prequel thing. I mean, before you scoff, the wild thing is like Kingdom Hearts 4. So much of this lore that it's working off of was established in the first Kingdom Hearts mobile game. So that all ended up being much more important than any of us thought.
It's, okay. I'm going to try to frame this like without being like mean about it. I'm trying to like remove all that stuff. If I'm looking through it through that lens a little bit, when I look at the Kingdom Hearts series and I see all this lore, my first question is, why the fuck does it need any of this? Why can't it just be a fun romp through Disney stuff and Final Fantasy worlds? And if I were to try to get on, like I have girls now who like Disney stuff. If I were to try to get on, I still feel like there's this big barrier, like this hump that I don't even want to try to push over. So I'm not even going to engage. Does Kingdom Hearts 4 address that, or do we even know that at this point?
Well, supposedly the whole point of 3 was to wrap up a lot of the existing, like to wrap up a story arc, right? So that going forward, it would be like this kind of soft reboot. I will grant it's not as much of a reboot as it probably almost should be.
Mm-hmm.
We're still, again, like Kingdom Hearts 3, even though of all that talk of like, yeah, it's like the end of a chapter, still had a lot of stuff directly setting up Kingdom Hearts 4. And ended on a cliffhanger, and a lot of those threads are still important. I almost would have been maybe happier, maybe would have been better if a harder reboot. Like, look, Sora's not even the main character anymore. His stuff is done. Donald Goofy are going to go help out our new hero George or something like that.
Georgie, yeah.
I mean, I think lore is good to a point. Lore is can get people more.
Obviously, it's
invested.
working. No, obviously, it does work. Obviously,
right? Yes, it creates lore is what creates mega fans.
Yes,
it creates people who are going to buy Funko Pops and all that shit like me. Now, I think I've absolutely gone overboard with it, and it's that point, like, it is what it is unless you do a hard reboot. So I don't think I definitely do think that we are at a point where perhaps Kingdom Hearts is more for Kingdom Hearts fans and not for Disney / Final Fantasy fans anymore.
Right, exactly.
But now there are so many Kingdom Hearts fans that maybe
that's not really a problem.
Worry about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Now here's the real question: could they possibly make it fun to play?
I think all the Kingdom Hearts games are fun. I think that there are issues from 3 I hope they address. The biggest problem with 3 was they had a zillion combat systems in it, and all of them were basically just you would randomly be able to push triangle and basically go super, like 5 different kinds of Super Saiyan. Like your weapon evolves Super Saiyan, you summon a Walt Disney World ride Super Saiyan, you summon Simba Super Saiyan, like all these things. And it trivialized combat even on some like the harder difficulties. So there's gonna have to be some bouncing there, and I think they kind of need to rein the combat back a little bit. Like I'm not expecting them to go back to Kingdom Hearts 1 sort of slower, more methodical thing, but at least we don't need a zillion pop-up commands every 2 seconds. I watched that 5-hour video essay about Kingdom Hearts 3, and that was sort of the big takeaway from that too. And I absolutely agree. Yeah, it's so funny, Jeff, because like all the critics of Kingdom Hearts, I don't necessarily disagree with most of them. There are some I don't mind that it's floaty. I think some people overreact about the camera per se, but some of the bigger picture stuff, sure. I sure do still have fun with it. And I'll tell you what, I'm feeling that itch to go back.
All of my criticisms come from watching and helping my wife play through Kingdom Hearts 1 a couple years ago, and me finding it like kind of egregious that it like had so many problems that were solved by games that came out before, and I just in general didn't find it fun. And then I'm like, maybe Kingdom Hearts 2 will be better. And then I started Kingdom Hearts 2 and I'm on some island, and it was just the most miserable beginning to a video game ever, and I didn't get past that. So that's all of mine is based on like an hour of 2 and everything in Kingdom Hearts 1. And it doesn't seem like that is much of like what the series seems like it's changed a lot since then. So I don't know.
It hasn't. Look, Jeff, you're not going to like Kingdom Hearts. Like some people are always like, make Jeff like Kingdom Hearts. I'm like, no, he doesn't like it. That's fine. I don't need to like make him miserable, and I don't need to hear him whine about a thing that I like for 2 hours. It'll be all right. The other kind of side of this, Jeff, is that this was in that Nvidia leak, and this almost seems to be like the big, okay, maybe just absolutely everything in that leak is real now.
Yeah, there's definitely some things that are like weirdly named, like the Titanfall 3 thing. That was always Apex Legends. So we know that there's things like that was always kind of causing me to be like, okay, so maybe they were just kind of like speculating here. But yeah, I mean, Kingdom Hearts 4 and ActRaiser, there was a whole bunch of like things that's like weird that they would be in there, and now they're here and they're real. So
2, I think, was there, and a bunch of other things.
I'm kind of with you where it's like, okay, we really at this point it's silly to like dismiss that thing. So what does this mean for Final Fantasy IX Remake?
I think it's real. I think it is a real thing. And I was very skeptical of it for a while. I think it is happening. Now, I don't think it's going to be a Final Fantasy VII remake style thing. I think it's going to be more like a Shadow of the Colossus remake, more of a one-to-one. Sure. Just, look, we're redoing the graphics, and they'll probably do a bit more than that.
Right.
But, like, Final Fantasy VII is, like, this subversive, like, take on the game, and, like, kind of a new... It's really more of a new game than anything else. I know remake is in the title, but it's basically a new game. Yep. This will be a Final Fantasy IX remake, and that's really exciting. Final Fantasy IX is fantastic. It scares me. The voice acting aspect scares me because they can mess, especially because one of the main characters is a kid, and everyone's favorite character is a kid. And in fact, they gave that character Vivi a voice of Kingdom Hearts 2, and it was just the wrong voice. They just made him sound like a snotty little high-pitched brat, and it was really unappealing. And I'm just terrified of what Vivi is going to sound like with voice acting. I hope they don't mess that up.
Yeah, that is actually a really tough, needle to thread or whatever, because it's people. It's decades now of people defining that voice themselves or whatever. Because it wasn't it was mostly like text, right? Because I know Final Fantasy 9 has some FMVs, but during like the game, like
there's no voice acting even during the FMVs. It's all text. There's no voice acting in Final Fantasy till 10, which was a big deal at the time.
When he says they should get James Woods to do it, so
that'd be funny. Well, it's like it's so hard with kids. Like, well, so it's either you got to actually get a kid, which like maybe is the route, but that's hard. That has its own challenges. Or you get, the classic. You find a woman voice actress, and they kind of like
you just get that AI that did Luke Skywalker in Boba Fett.
It actually should literally be that AI. He should sound like the wooden, emotionless Luke Skywalker.
I mean, maybe on GameSpeak Decides this Friday, Mike, we should take another look at that. Like, actually open up that Nvidia leak, go game by game, cross off the ones that are confirmed. If there's anything we can confirm that is like, weird, like Titanfall 3, we'll do that. And then we'll go through and see what we think about the rest of that list, because maybe that'd be good content, and maybe we can make a story out of that too. So, okay. I mean, any other thoughts?
Jones said that I should just do it in my Toad voice. I have a sort of boyish, youthful voice. I should just be the voice of Vivi. We should start that social media campaign.
You just pitch it up like one octave and you're good. Yeah.
Well, see, I always picture Vivi as having more like, not every kid has like a super high pitchy.
They all do on TV.
Voice. Actually, yeah, he should sound a bit more appealing like that. He's gonna talk a lot. I don't want to hear.
He should sound like a cool kid, like Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Yeah, he should sound like what I imagine Kid Chameleon sounds like. And that exactly what I mean.
Yes, I was going to that's the most specific thing that you could have said, and yet I fully understood everything that you ment with that. Because I just looked at that Kid Chameleon ad in that magazine the other day, so I'm like, yes, I've had Kid Chameleon in the brain, absolutely.
Everyone watched that. Jeff did this video where he went through.
Thank you, appreciate that.
The EGM from 30 years ago, and it was fun. I laughed because Loom was one of the games that were previewed for a second, which I was thinking about because of playing all this Monkey Island stuff, LucasArts thing. Also, that Aladdin deck enhancer, you talked about that a little bit. You weren't sure what it was, I think. That was something that actually was for the NES.
They said it was like an 8-bit. It's like going to do cool things for 8-bit cartridges.
Right.
And I mean, they obviously, I looked in the next issue after that. Comerica was a big advertiser for them. And Comerica is the company that made that Aladdin deck enhancer. So they were probably getting fed info. But yeah, it was for the NES, and it was basically just a way of like producing cartridges cheaper, because the deck enhancer thing of the Aladdin itself had like the security chip and like the RAM and stuff, and everything else was just like the cartridges were just the ROM on a little thing, so it was like way cheaper to produce them.
I think the Angry Video Gamer, somebody even did an episode on the Aladdin deck.
Video Game Historian did it. I watched it since then, so and that was very very informative. I'm like,
there's some good stuff out there.
Well, although we were trying to find, like, if anyone knows what the quad is, which was another thing that like Quarterman was talking about in that issue, they're saying, the whiz heads at Nintendo, which is not a thing anyone says, whiz heads. We're coming up with a new basically they said development system, and it was called the Quad, and it was going to enable graphics and sound that you've never seen before. It's going to be better than anything. And we even asked Dylan Cuthbert on Twitter if this was like an early name for the Super FX chip, and he's like, nope, never heard of the Quad. So if anyone could track that down, I'd love to hear.
Oh, Pawson Theory. That is the Rocketeer right there. Yeah, because they were talking about that game that came out. It was weird that they do the review section of like what platforms the game came out with. And for the Rocketeer, like it came out for NES and Super NES. So those are two completely different games. So I'm like, well, which one are they reviewing there?
It didn't, 30 years ago, man, it just didn't matter as much.
The Rocketeer is fantastic, though. It's like one of my favorite movies. You should look it up. It's on Disney Plus. So there you go. All right, Jeff. Next actual Nintendo news, really. Nintendo has acquired land for a new development building in Japan right next to its current headquarters, scheduled to be completed by 2027. People are joking that they're expanding the jail. So maybe we'll get a quad of our own, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, there you go. Hey. I like the joke about how it's like, Microsoft's acquiring all these studios. Nintendo's just acquiring the Earth. The earth beneath your feet will now belong to Nintendo.
Real estate.
Yeah, I mean, this is like, they're investing in their long-term future of being able to make and manage games and entertainment products of all kinds. So, I don't know. It's just overall a good sign that Nintendo is spending money to make more money in the future, because it means in the long run we should be getting more games out of them than we even get now. So, I think there's a lot of games coming out this year, but you always feel like Nintendo can maybe put out like a couple more each year, And maybe this is like getting to that point where they'll be able to support even more game development.
Maybe, hopefully that means that some of these franchises that just oddly aren't supported for whatever reason, like F-Zero, can maybe come back if we start releasing more games, right?
Well, yeah, or it means we just won't go to jail for breaking embargo. We'll go to jail for our streams about how to emulate Nintendo games on the Steam Deck. So
there you go.
Yeah.
An actual offense.
Yes.
This probably won't have that. Outside of that, which is probably years and years away, this isn't going to have too much of an impact on your average Nintendo fan, I imagine.
No, not at all. But it's, I mean, I think it just shows where Nintendo's priorities are. They're not spending billions to go out and acquire studios. They are just expanding what they already have, and that seems to be their mindset.
Jeff, Bugsnax is coming to the Switch on April 28th. This is the same day that the Isle of Big Snacks DLC, which is free, is also releasing. It's also coming out on Xbox via Game Pass. So
Yes.
Bugsnax is basically hitting all the platforms. Switch sure does seem like a pretty nice home for that. We know that indies do well on Switch.
Absolutely. I think this is going to be this game's like real like coming out party where it can it was a cool thing to launch alongside the PS5, but you could have played it on PS4. It was on the Epic Game Store before that. Is it coming to Steam now? Probably as well.
It is coming to Steam also. Yes.
So yeah, so this is its real coming out party. It's like similar things have happened with like Hades in the past where it was on Epic Game Store and a few other things maybe, but now it's on the Switch and it's on Steam, and for an indie game, those are the platforms.
What you're saying is that everybody's going to be talking about Bugsnax.
Yes, everybody's talking about Bugsnax. Yes, I mean, I started it. I kind of didn't immediately fall in love, so I didn't could keep playing. But I've always been meaning to give it another try. And with it coming to Steam, I will probably just boot it up on the Steam Deck, actually.
Sure.
Play it there. But, it's great. It's great it's on Switch as well. That's fantastic.
And again, that DLC is free, and it's like a whole new mini campaign and a bunch of quality of life improvements and new content for the base game.
And there's big Bugsnax, which is just better.
There's giant Bugsnax. They're just huge.
Things are better when they're bigger.
You just can't even imagine.
Yep.
All right, Jeff, we got a bunch of questions from the community, but if anybody watching the stream now has a question, you can send in a super chat. We got a few of those already, and we will read those before the end of the show for sure. You can also send in a super chat for our question this week, which is what is your favorite Nintendo launch game ever? So if you want to answer that, please do. We should also mention that you can now subscribe to the YouTube channel, can't you, Jeff?
Oh, that's right. Yes, yeah, you could join the YouTube channel as a member.
Subscribe, join it, yeah.
Yes, subscribe is like the free thing. Join, become a member. I think it starts at $5 per month. There's various tiers, but all those tiers get you into the secret channels inside of the Discord. All you have to do is just hit that button, fill out the information or whatever. But if you connect your YouTube account to your Discord account, you will automatically get into those secret channels. If you're not already in the Discord, which is free, discord.gg/GameMess, it'll put you into our server. But it'll also automatically add those hidden channels. So do that. Hang out with us. It's a great thing, and it also supports the channel, supports Game Mess going forward. And there's a few other perks there. So you can come hang out with us when we do our Q&A, and when we do our Jeopardy game, you can watch that live and submit questions and stuff like that. Watch Mike completely dominate. Yes. Thanks for reminding me about that, Mike.
Yeah, good stuff. And if you are watching live right now, be sure to give a thumbs up. We appreciate that. Let's get to these questions. Dr. Turbo says, after Mario Golf 64 is announced, there's only 2 games out of the original slate of games presented left, Kirby 64 and Pokemon Snap. Which is more likely? 1, we get no more Nintendo 64 games. 2, they tease another batch and continue the monthly release schedule. Or 3, they say nothing and we keep wondering whether we'll get more Nintendo 64 games every month. It's 2-ish. I don't even know if they're going to bother teasing a batch. It might just be more of a surprise going forward.
Right.
Like, here's the game this month. They're going to release more.
Yes, look when it runs out. It runs out around June, around the time of them having another, probably a big Nintendo Direct. I think at that time they say, okay, here's the next batch of games. We will begin releasing them soon, and then the next month after that, we get one game a month for going forward. Probably like a lot more rare games. I imagine that includes GoldenEye.
Not literally. Like, do you mean rare? Okay, I was about to say
rare limited,
like uncommon, or
yes, rare limited games. Yes, though God, both those words are not helping actually.
I mean,
I don't know. I think probably we'll start with GoldenEye. I think this is probably when they announce GoldenEye and get it out there. But I don't know. We'll see.
There's a bunch of other other like lesser tier.
I mean, there's Wave Race, Excitebike 64, 1080. We haven't gotten any of those, so yeah.
There's still a lot of games. Bishop Makers is the one I really want to see, man.
Mission Impossible, yeah.
Why not? There's that other James Bond game, the one that's like this. It wasn't made by Rare, but it was probably based off the movie. I forget if it was The World Was Not Enough or Tomorrow Never Dies. But people say that one's actually also not bad. So I'd almost like to play that.
For N64?
Yeah, there was another one that people didn't hate. Again, it wasn't Rare, obviously, but there's.
I thought you said it was Rare. Okay.
No, not Rare. Sorry.
Yes. Okay. Fair enough. That makes more sense. Okay. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff they can pull from. We're not actually that deep into the Nintendo 64 library already. Someone say the world is not enough. That sounds right.
That's it. Isn't it kind of weird? I mean, I'm sure this is probably something everybody knows why, but like, why didn't Rare just make another James Bond game right away?
Well, I think Nintendo probably was like, we don't want to be held to the license. We'll just make Perfect Dark. Yeah.
I guess so. Hosp says, "Hello, hey, dogs. Do you think we will get a major new first-party IP before the launch of Switch 2? Jeff, I think the answer is no. Especially if you're saying major. Will we get something maybe like a 1-2 Switch or something? I don't know, but I don't think we're going to be getting like the next Splatoon or anything like that anytime soon.
Yeah, like a new major first-party IP,
like ARMS.
Yeah, I mean, not before the launch of the Switch 2. I guess if that was going to happen, we'll hear about it in June. But I would say probably not. They're probably going to get us through like the big hits, the ones they haven't had in a while, the things they've already announced. They got to release Breath of the Wild 2 and stuff like that, and then it's going to be time for a Mario team game, and then it's going to be time for Switch 2. Or maybe this will happen at the same time. But then once the Switch 2 is sort of ramping up, maybe that's when they start looking at doing something like that again.
Alex asks, do you think Nintendo will expand their line of Lego to other IP? The Mario sets as well as the play sets seem to do great. Same can be said for Sonic. I'm sure they are. I know they announced something new did a little bit ago. I'm not even sure what. I think there's like specifically Luigi Mansion ones even coming. I'm sure Zelda sets are going to come. I mean, that one makes a ton of sense because I would buy a Temple of Time Lego set or Hyrule Castle, right? Like that almost makes a lot more sense than some of the Mario ones, honestly. So that's got to happen. Yeah,
I think they'll kind of keep. I mean, I think they've been very successful, so they'll keep at it. So yeah, sure. I think you're right.
Turbo Card says, "What Nintendo game stunned you the most graphically when it released?" Probably Metroid Prime or Wind Waker. Actually, Metroid Prime looks really good though. Metroid Prime.
I think this is probably the marketing working, but Donkey Kong Donkey Kong Country.
Sure.
Like it was like, oh man, who needs 32-bit? Like your Super Nintendo could do this, and then like it would show like the wireframe models that they were using on the SGI computers and stuff like that. I'm like, whoa. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. That was at that time. I remember being blown away.
One Up versus CPU says, I need Mike's expert opinion on busted ass Square Enix remasters. Is there any chance they fix Chrono Cross Radical Dreamers Edition? No. I mean, they'll do some small things to it, but they can't fix the fact that, like, their whole philosophy with these PlayStation 1 era games, the way they remaster them is just weird. Because they just, like, really smooth out the character models. Then those pre-rendered backgrounds just sort of, like, blurred. So it just looks bizarre. Now, the good news is there are a lot of very talented Square Enix fans that release a lot of nice mods. So if you're willing to get the PC version, if maybe you got a Steam Deck coming, those are going to be your best bets to play a lot of classic Square Enix games, is getting these or just getting ROMs, really, and getting mods and some of this community stuff. So, like, I'm still glad they did it because now Chrono Cross is out on other platforms. And again, now it's on PC, and now we can get mods and all this stuff. And there will be a very nice way to play Chrono Cross in the future. Just not necessarily thanks to Square Enix. Turbo Madness says, since Kirby and Ohio are relevant topics on Last Nintendogs lately, I gotta ask, are Waddle Dee's Buckeyes, aka the nut the Ohio State University sport is named after? Also, does it add a whole new meaning to Waddle Dee's nuts? They do kind of look like Buckeyes, don't they, Jeff?
They do look a lot like Buckeyes. Absolutely.
It's a t-shirt idea there.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I approve of that, which you might have to get approval from me.
Oh,
if
that's right.
Buckeye related.
Wow. Oh my. Look, I'm not a giant college sports fan, Jeff. I was thinking about it more as a Ohio pride thing. It is also the state tree, It's not just about.
I suppose.
It's not just about sports. We'll see. We'll see about this. Velocity Prime wants this. With the announcement of Kingdom Hearts 4, everyone will be asking whether or not Marvel and Star Wars will enter the series. But I think the more important question will be if Sora and friends go to a Muppet world. What will they find there? Is evil Kermit part of Organization 13? Did Gonzo get Norded? Look, I would love a Muppet
For
world.
Gonzo to get Norded.
Yeah, that'd be funny too. I that's one of the things like I want to believe. And then the question is like, well, what Muppet world do you do, right? Because there's, the Muppets just have been in all these different situations and everything. Like they're not going to do Muppet Treasure Island because we already have the whole pirate thing with the Pirates of the Caribbean here. Are you going to go like really deep and do Muppets, the Great Muppet Caper? I don't know. But it would be cool. Like, I part of me almost feels like they would like the weird challenge of like making Sora and Don Goofy look like Muppets, and God, that look good. I think if anything, actually, and I've been actually thinking this for a while, like even before Kingdom Hearts 3, maybe Gonzo, like the Great Gonzo, will be a summon, which sounds so funny to say.
God, that's so good.
But I think Great Gonzo might be. I think he might like enter the battlefield being shot out of a cannon.
Yeah.
Yeah,
when you wrote that in your article, I'm like, oh my God, that's incredible.
Mhm.
I would love to see that. Mike, I'm sorry, I have to halt the show. The Game Awards tweeted, "Rest in peace to Gilbert Gottfried, the voice of Iago the parrot in Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2." And I'm just
That's true.
It's true, but it's just like stretching it so hard to be like, I just want to tweet about the trending death, and so here's where he was in a video game.
Yeah. I know what you mean. They're not wrong. He was in fact the voice of Iago in Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2.
You're wrong. You're not wrong, but it's just I'm like, oh, okay, all right, I get it, Jeff Keighley. I get it. You just really wanted to tweet about a celebrity. All right, good for you.
I wonder if that's actually the only time he's ever done voice work. I wonder if he's ever done any video game voice work outside of being Iago and things. He was always a good sport about that. I always appreciate when the celebrities like will come back to do their voices.
I mean, because there's something like about like someone who's like, no, I'm working for the paycheck. I'm here. Someone wants to give me a paycheck. I'm gonna show up. I always like actors like that. Absolutely.
Right. Okay. The next one here is from Winnie asking if you had to start shows dedicated to other platforms / company, Sony, Microsoft, what would the names be? Given Jeff's upcoming move, I can only think of the Cleveland Steamers. I apologize. And thank you. Wow. Not awful, actually. Not awful at all. Gosh, yeah. What would we name a Sony or Microsoft show? It took me a long time to come up with Last of the Nintendogs. So these things can't happen on the spot.
Yeah.
I mean, the Last of the Connectimals writes itself, and then the Last of the Knacks. Something with Knack. Well, I think for Sony, right?
Yes. The Knack Attack show, obviously.
The Knack Attack.
Probably already taken, I'm sure. Yeah, bring back Knack. Yeah, every episode's just like, is Knack back? No. Well, what the fuck?
We'll just call the podcast Knack's Back, bitches. And we'll be like, we're Knack now. That's what we are.
Yes, the last Knacks.
It's the last Knack. It turns out the real Knack was inside us all along. Beef Hammer says, not Nintendo related, but when are you cowards going to watch Morbius and give us a review of it? Jeff, I am never going to see Morbius.
I feel like I don't need to watch it to review it. Jared Leto tries too hard. It seems like rushed and weird, like it's weirdly edited, like they didn't have enough budget to like actually do what they were trying to do, and what they were trying to do was pretty stupid in the first place. And there you go.
Look, I didn't even watch the Venom movie when everyone's like, actually, it's pretty good.
Either.
I still didn't believe anyone. So now I will believe them when they say it's awful. I'll tell you what. Casual says, dear Nintendogs, help me calm my nerves. How likely do you think it is that our purchases from the eShop will carry over when the Switch dose plops out? I think it's pretty likely. It's going to be pretty scummy and a pretty bad look if they don't, right?
Yeah, this is, you're saying backwards compatible?
Backwards compatible, specifically with eShop purchases.
Oh, God, that would be bad if it wasn't, yes.
Yeah, it has to be. Yeah, you could be okay. I will say if it's not, it'll be a whole thing. Like, we know that Nintendo usually doesn't listen to, like, internet outrage. There might be so much internet outrage for
they might be unable to avoid it, yeah.
Yeah. Lostian says, hello, guys. Hope your weekend was relaxing and refreshing. I have a dilemma, and I like your opinion. I was looking into ordering a physical copy of Chrono Cross for the Switch from Play Asia. And Play Asia, there's a name I haven't heard in a long time. So you know him. Of course I know him. It's me.
It's me.
I'm Play Asia, but I'm not sure anymore. After watching the Digital Foundry video on the game and it having problems, I find myself thinking that buying the game I'll give Square Enix a pass to pump out poorly done ports, but I do fear I'm missing out in the game only giving a limited print. Your thoughts? P.S. I don't mind doing crimes of playing old game, but I do prefer to buy them and play them legally when it's easy, convenient. And if you're just interested in like getting a physical copy because it's neat and it's like a fun collectible thing, also,
Right.
like Jeff says before, you don't worry about voting with your wallet. That's not going to be what deters or
Yeah. You won't be able to change their mind. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, you'll have very little effect on that. Your vote is very minuscule. But I'll say, like, get the cool thing. Get the cool thing and have it. But I don't open it. Like, just if you're going to import it, just save it. Just put it on your shelf as like an art piece or something.
Yeah, like if Chrono Cross Radical Dreamers Edition sells poorly, their takeaway is not going to be like, we should have done a better job remastering. It's going to be, well, I guess nobody cared about that old game. So
right, yes.
Don't worry about it.
And the social media outrage, which has been pretty good so far about this game, I think that'll be where they notice, like, where they fucked up.
Jump Matt, what are your predictions for Nintendo announcements at E3? So let's not talk about just things we think we're going to see more of. What gets announced? I mean, Wind Waker Twilight Princess gets announced, right? That'll be there.
Yeah,
and maybe Metroid Prime 1 finally, that remaster / remake is finally also shown off.
Right. It's we could take Mario Kart off the list, right? Because they're doing the DLC. So then, what is the Mario Kart team, which also made ARMS? What are they going to show? Are they going to show something new, or are they going to show ARMS 2?
They might show ARMS 2, but yeah, I think they could show ARMS 2. I mean, I think their big thing will probably be whatever the Mario team is working on there, and like, I don't think it's coming out this year, but I think we can see it at least announced, right?
Okay,
It'll be like maybe the one last thing or something. They have to have something big, and it could be that.
Yeah, that seems right. I think, okay, if we get that tease this year, and then it's like, oh, and it comes out, well, soon, and we'll talk about more specifically about that later. And then if you think it's going to be as a launch title for Switch 2, they could still announce that this year. That makes sense,
right? I mean, they don't have to. If it's going to be a launch title for the Switch 2, if that's their plan, and they don't want to announce the Switch 2 also, which I don't think they will yet, they don't have to say that part. They can just show it and be like, yeah, it's coming to Switch or whatever. Major Blaze says, my question for the Nintendogs is, how are y'all today? I am good.
Yeah, I'm pretty good. Recovering still from the Kingdom Hearts announcement, emotionally, but there's still a lot happening, still a lot going on, and getting the ducks in the row and all that stuff. Made a lot of progress on packing up the basement over the weekend, so that was nice.
This is like the one nice day of weather we have, so I'm trying to enjoy it while I can. Jeff, you did that. You did a big like 12-hour stream the other day. How did that go? I kind of logged off at like 7 a.m. If you still went for a while.
Yes, we were going for a bit. We got to our goal, so we had to watch Miami Connection, which was a lot of fun. We played like a lot of online shareable games. We were playing Jackbox and we were playing What the Dub, and that was a really good time. I played a little bit of Stranger of Paradise. That's a lot of video game, Mike. There's a lot going on in that video game.
It's hard to take in, isn't it?
Yes, it was very overwhelming, especially at that like time of night where I'm like, what is going on? I can't, like, I was falling asleep playing it because I think my brain was just overprimed.
But you're not saying you hate it.
No, I definitely don't. I mean, there's a lot, and it was overwhelming, and I bet some of it seemed like very engaging and fun. So that all that stuff was working for me, and the characters are dumb in a good way, which was also enjoyable.
Pennywise said, hey, nearly extinct canines. Been listening for a while now, at least from when Jeff was really into licking Xboxes. I've been taking care of my wife, who has been quite ill over the last several months, and your guys' great banter, humor, and discourse has really been a positive life, and she even listens occasionally. Mike, she does not find your voice annoying like someone else's girlfriend mentioned, and actually finds it quite lovely. Thank you. I almost promised myself to become a supporter once I got a promotion at work, and lo and behold, it happened. No question right now. Just want to say thank you both for so much for lighting up two people's worlds every week and keep it up. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for supporting the show. I hope your wife feels better soon.
Same.
Yes, I hope she's listening to my dulcet tones right now, and it's just like a ray of sunshine into her life. How could it not be?
Yep, definitely. I definitely hope she feels better, and thank you for those kind words. That's awesome, and congratulations to you on everything you got going for you.
Yeah. Laurel says, what could a 3D Donkey Kong platformer do that would differentiate it from Odyssey and Kirby? Would harder be enough, or would they need a big gimmick to help sell? I think it should almost kind of go that Crash Bandicoot route and be very much a pure platformer, kind of like Donkey Kong Country. Like Donkey Kong Country doesn't have a whole lot of bell and whistles, like the level design does, but the mechanics are relatively simple in it. And that's what I think I would want from a 3D Donkey Kong platformer, not a Mario style collectathon like 64 was. Just make it a game with a lot of jumping, like around enemies and obstacles and platforms, and maybe throw in swinging mechanics and stuff like that to make
swinging, climbing, maybe a minecart stage. If you
could have animal buddies and that stuff.
If you play as Donkey Kong in the Donkey Kong game, then yes, what Mike said is what I want. If you play as Mario going up against Donkey Kong in a Donkey Kong game, I want it to be a puzzle platformer similar to the Game Boy game.
I guess what I actually want is for it to, so you know how like Kirby in the Forgotten Land really does just feel like a 3D Kirby game.
Mm-hmm.
I want a 3D Donkey Kong to feel like a 3D Donkey Kong Country game, and not just like Banjo-Kazooie or Mario 64 with
Agreed.
A bit of a Donkey Kong skin on it.
Agreed.
God Rizla says, "Hey, Beef and Cheddar boys, what games that we know of for the Switch releasing this year are you most excited for now that Kirby has been released?" That's interesting, Jeff, because there's like I feel like a lot of their big games coming out now are stuff that I'm not necessarily super stoked about personally. Like
I am getting hyped up for Nintendo Switch Sports. It's looking more and more fun all the time. Yes, it looks very good. I'm going to have a very good time with that game, I could tell.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure I will have fun, but I'm also not hyped for it. And then, like, Xenoblade Chronicles 3, skeptical. I got a Fire Emblem, another Muso game of that. Another Pokemon game. I don't know. So, it's like, gosh, and now I'm trying to think of what I'm forgetting, and maybe I am forgetting something that's actually more exciting than all that.
I mean, there's, what is it? No, I'm like... Advance Wars got pushed, so there's no date for Advance Wars.
I would probably enjoy that more. If Bayonetta 3 was this year, that would probably be on the exciting end.
I mean, they said Bayonetta 3 is coming this year, didn't they?
I can't remember. I almost just don't believe them.
Yeah. I guess their year's pretty packed, but yeah, I don't know. Some of these games could surprise. I'm very excited. Oh, Mario Strikers, Mike.
Oh, yeah, Mario Strikers is the answer. Thank you. There we go.
That is easily my most hyped game, period. That's the thing I'm looking for. I mean, I'd rather play that than anything else. Well, yeah, fair enough.
New Feel Legit says, "Happy Tuesday, boys. Not a question, but some feedback. I really enjoyed Jeff's video of looking at the old EGM magazines from 30 years ago. As someone who grew up during this time, it's very fun to go back and look at the old magazines. I'd love to see more content like that in the future." Jeff, it sounds like it was a big hit with everybody.
Yeah, everyone seems to really like it. So I was planning on maybe doing this like once a month and like looking back at like different time periods. Where it's like, okay, maybe next time I will do like 25 years ago or maybe 15 years ago, but I will occasionally go back and like, okay, now 30 years ago this month and stuff like that. So it'll be ongoing. I think the next time I might do 15 years ago. And if I do that, there'll be EGM, but EGM is pretty different even 15 years ago.
Yeah.
But also, I think I'll also bring in like some podcasts from that time because we had a lot of podcasts at that point. So, oh, man. That was like the early like One Up Yours days. So it's like, yeah, I'll like, what were they talking about on that show? So that's the plan. I definitely want to keep doing stuff like that. I want to keep looking back and finding ways to compare it to what's happening today.
To me, like the One Up Yours, like that best era was like that E3 before the Wii and PlayStation 3 launch. Like that's what I remember when I'm talking about. Delta Prime 84 says, "I'm kind of obsessed with Elden Ring, like I was obsessed with Breath of the Wild when that came out. Get your game critic hats on and tell me which of the two games do you think does the no hand-holding gameplay better?" Man, in that regard specifically, that's a little tough. They both do it really well.
Yeah, they both do it very well, and they're both doing it for different things. I think Elden Ring's like, here's a world that you're going to go explore that has all kinds of different weapons and different ways of doing combat, and we're going to just kind of let you find that stuff on your own and experiment on your own and figure that stuff out. Breath of the Wild is like similar, but it's like, okay, we have this physics and chemistry system, and all these things can be mixed together and used in different ways, and you can use all these 4 special powers, and you can use them in special ways to accomplish your goals. Just go out there and figure it out. If you see an obstacle in front of you, we bet you have something that in your tool belt that you could pull out to figure out a way around that, and that works for the entire game. So it's just a slightly different way of doing those things. I don't know. I think Breath of the Wild might be a little bit more effective because it just works so naturally, where if you come up with an idea, it's probably going to work. If you come up with an idea of like, okay, I'm going to try to do this and this, I'm going to chop down that tree, I'm going to, we're going to give it stasis, and then we're going to hit the hell out of it, and then maybe should roll down there, bump into this, and all those things work the way you expect them to, and you don't have to like have this like video game knowledge to understand how that stuff's going to work. So maybe Breath of the Wild has a slight advantage there, but honestly, Elden Ring is doing it for such a massive game and so many different concepts that it's truly incredible and truly amazing still.
VJ Incoming says, wondering if you all could help clarify for myself and the listeners this week. I saw the press release that Nintendo has acquired land, but I'm not familiar with the studio. Have they done anything that I might be familiar with?
Right, that was that studio that made Animal Crossing. No, what they make? They made Earthbound and all that stuff, right?
Yes, funny.
Yeah. And then they moved on to.
That's a funny joke, Jeff. You did it. I was trying to think of a way to turn this into a joke, and I was coming up with nothing. So you're a hero.
Thank you very much.
Octo says, yo, since last week was basically a Mikey Game Fest with the double whammy of a new Monkey Island, yay, and a new Kingdom Hearts, meh, oh, boo to you. I was wondering, what would be an equivalent double whammy of announcements that would get Jeff just as happy?
Ooh.
Mine would probably be a new Little Big Adventures, It's Happening, yay, and maybe a new 3D Rayman or Sid Meier's Pirates. Cheers. Jeff, what dumb blue-collar truck mud game would they have to announce to give you a fraction of the joy I felt last week?
Yeah, I real quick went up first to see if you had a better joke. They made dirt. Land made dirt. There you go. That's much better.
That's pretty good, yeah.
I don't know. So I mean, at this point, I feel like I got like a lot of my stuff in the recent past. Breath of the Wild, Link's Awakening, remake and stuff like that. Advance Wars, yeah. So I'm like actually kind of running pretty low on the. It would definitely be either like a 1080 or a Wave Race.
Yeah, maybe both. If they announced both of those, maybe that would give you the happies.
Yeah, and at this point, I would like to see a new Excite game as well. So any sort of like take on the Excite driving experience would be cool.
Turbo Obama says, no question today, guys, just a story. When I was younger, my parents would not buy me any video game, and my uncle gave me his old PlayStation 2 and Kingdom Hearts. I was super excited, but once I played it, I almost gave up playing video games entirely because of how bad and confusing I found it to be. Even 7-year-old me had better taste in games than Mike Minotti. Just kidding on the last part, Mike. I love you guys. Well, bad taste is infectious. It happens. Well, here we go. Got
story.
More. Gerbear says, the Kingdom Hearts 11 plus 1/3 trailer was bad, right? Big Gray City, NPCs shooting portrait video, a hero with itty-bitty feet, and a doubling down the already near impenetrable lore. Who is this for? I just want Riku and Scrooge McDuck to team up and fight Sephiroth and Jafar in the Dwarf's Cottage. Why are they making this so hard for me? I should just download Unreal Engine 5 to do it myself. I'd probably get it finished before Nomura releases his latest track. Like, I'm not a giant fan of looking at realistic Sora. That doesn't exactly make me feel happy. But
I could tell that because you did not yell at me when I made that joke. You're like, yeah, okay, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, it looks kind of that's kind of weird. But like, as a gimmick, it would be fine. If he does look like that most of the game, I'm going to have maybe an issue.
I think someone earlier in chat said Nomura has clarified, I don't know where, that is just the one area for him. So,
yeah,
okay.
And I believe that, and sure, it makes sense. I guess it is still weird to see. Nintendo Bro says, Jeff, will you be doing the Kingdom Hearts review, or will Rachel?
Yeah, no, I'll be handling that. Yep.
Yeah, Jeff will. Yeah, Jeff's all over that one. He's real excited. Bench JC says, hey, Mike, 6.1 of Final Fantasy 14 comes out today. That's a new patch. And after 3 months, I'm finally hopping back in. What's something you're really looking forward to? Final Fantasy is on Switch, so it is Nintendo related. Well, I'm looking forward to a lot. The Alliance raid. I always like doing the Alliance raids. And it's fun. My older brother's caught up this time, so I'm actually do these things with him now. I've been earning Gil. I've been selling stuff in the auction house for months and months and months, and I have enough Gil that I can afford a house in the new Ishgard area. But it's a lottery system, so I have to get lucky, but I can't afford it. So, in fact, after this, I need to go and put down my bid and all that stuff. So, I'm very excited. And then Benji changed his name, Jeff, and it's a lot. Let me I think
okay.
I'm not even wrong. Yeah, DK wants to fuck a piano bop. Says tangentially related to the play date. Jeff, which Zoomer helps you pick out your music for your TikToks?
So, okay. Real quick, first of all, he's making reference to our Mario Party thing that kicked off the 12-hour stream, which was a lot of fun. Who ended up winning that? Was that Turbo Sean?
Yes, it was Sean. I was just in second.
You were in second. You almost pulled it out. I got fourth place in that one, everybody, which seemed fair the way I played that night.
Yeah, you're doing awful.
Yeah.
I liked that.
Yeah, I bet you did. So yeah, I think I'm using Jack Harlow's. Can't remember the name of the song. It was the very first song that TikTok just automatically added to the videos when I put those videos into TikTok, and I just said go because I was aware that like Jack Harlow's new song was very popular, and I'm like, hey, it kind of works. So I just said like, yeah, that's fine, just use that. So it was basically autocomplete. I just let the whole TikTok take care of it for me, and it worked. It's got the most views of any of my TikToks ever. So. Yeah, check out my TikTok, Jeff Grubb's Game Mess with one S there at the end because I ran out of letters and I didn't even pay attention because it's TikTok and I didn't care. But I put up my unboxing of the play date on there, so you can check that out.
Jamie H1224 says Kingdom Hearts should just be like Lego Dimensions was, where the story was secondary to the world and characters. Well, you know what's still around? Kingdom Hearts. You know what isn't around no more? Lego Dimensions. So.
Jesus, fucking brutal.
Man,
real quick, I got a question here from. All right, I got a super chat here from Infernal Tim. He dropped a 50 on us.
Wow,
he said,
thanks, Tim. Wow.
He said, got my workers' comp back pay finally and wanted to do my part to help with the move. Thank you, Tim. You didn't have to do that, but thank you. Really appreciate
thank you for
that.
doing it through here where I get half of it.
And he said, ordered a shirt too. Thank you for the laughs, gentlemen. We all appreciate you.
Oh,
thank you so much. Really, good looking out.
You guys have been throwing a lot of support our ways. I want you to know we do have big plans. This isn't just going towards margaritas.
Oh, yes.
I mean,
it's also going to margaritas, but yes, we also have big plans. It's I've got ideas for that studio. Honestly, if you've ever watched a Dan Reichert stream and the way he's got his whole room set up, I'm gonna do that, but like in kind of even a bigger space. So I'm really looking forward.
You got a hot tub for the hot tub streams?
I have to have it on the way. We'll have to do another. We'll have to do another marathon and make that happen.
My dad has a hot tub, and I was actually in there on Sunday for the first time. It's pretty spacious. I'm just saying.
All right, well, here we go. I'll bring the camera.
But my dad might have a lot of questions.
Hey, we'll have a lot of answers. We'll let the chat answer him. We'll put him on the computer like CompuServe segments from wrestling in the 90s. Your dad will just be sitting there. No, your dad will be sitting next to like a small kid who's actually on the computer like typing for him. Yes. And then, we'll be like, all right, let's check in with the CompuServe chat room. And your dad will just be there answering questions.
Like that.
Yep.
All right, Jeff. I need to take a quick break, and then let's get to some of these super chats, and we'll get to our topic. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
All right, we'll be right back. I don't know why I get that large Subway soda, Jeff.
I mean, it's something about it is actually super appealing. I don't know, like a large drink, a large fountain drink is just it's the American way of life. I mean, I don't know, just because like it gets all the condensation. I don't know. I get it. I mean, I can't hear him anymore. Everybody, I don't know what he's saying.
I deserve nice things.
He deserves nice things. Fair enough. Okay. All right. Let's see. Let's play our favorite game. Can we hear Mike stream? All right. Shh. Do you think he's like flexing harder to make it louder? Oh, what a show. Jeff, play the flute. Yeah, let me see if I got one here. I actually have to hide my RR, basically what Mike has, his tin whistle, or whatever it is. I have to hide it because my wife loves to just dance around the house and play it specifically to annoy me. So I have to hide it so she can't find it. We do have one somewhere. I don't know where. Yes, a large soda with unlimited free refills is my goddamn right as an American. Traveling to Europe, it was one of those things like, oh man, they just don't have the same a relationship with drinks there that we do here, where it's like, oh, you're gonna get this tiny little micro Coca-Cola and you want ice? What the fuck is ice? It's like, okay, all right, can I just have un carafe, please? Just give me some water, I guess.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, and that drove me crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
and because of that, they don't have nearly as many public restrooms, and if they do have one, you have to pay for it. It's like,
yes,
you don't understand. I'm American. I am constantly filling my
I'm
bladder
basically
to the brink.
Never not peeing. Like, come on,
yes, essentially.
Let's make it work here. Europe sounds terrifying. You want me to blow up your balloon? Okay, I'll blow up your balloon, and then we'll get started. Hang on, I'll be right back.
That gets me. I've been playing so much Monkey Island. I've been working on that Monkey Island theme, right? Well, I could do better than that, Mikey. What's that? There we go. Mm. No. There's the next part. I know Chrono Cross.
All right, I'm back and good to go.
Well, no, I had a request for Chrono Cross. I needed to prove him that I could do it.
Beautiful.
Oh, you mean like the da, 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 da. I don't think I do know that one yet, Tim. I should. All right, Jeff. You want to? A lot of these are about launch games. Maybe we should just get to do all the super chats together at the end. How's that sound?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, because we'll get to the super chats. We'll because a lot of them are about launch games. But Jeff, first, what is your favorite Nintendo launch game ever?
Yeah, it's tough because it's like I can imagine just everyone saying a few of the same games over and over. And I guess do I want to be try to like go deep cut here? I'll just say Red Steel 2. No, probably not.
Red Steel 2 is not a launch game. Red Steel 1 was.
Red Steel 1. That's right. Red Steel 1. Yes.
You love it so much.
I love it. Yeah, exactly. I'll say that I think my favorite one is probably Super Mario 64. It's kind of hard to beat that one in my brain. Where it's the one I got. It's the first time I got into the system on launch day. It was the first time where it was like, okay, yeah, this is the one game everyone's getting it. I'm gonna sit down and play it. It was this 3D masterpiece. You just kind of can't beat Super Mario 64. To this day, it's like, okay, when a new system comes out, they're trying to live up to that bar in terms of, are you at least as good as Super Mario 64? And most of the times, the answer is no. Occasionally, the answer's been yes, and that's like Breath of the Wild, maybe, and a few other things. But yeah, so Super Mario 64 is my favorite.
It ought to also have a normie answer here, but it also kind of has to be Mario 64 for me. It's just not only is it a fantastic game, but such a good launch game in terms of like showing us something new, getting us excited about the whole platform. Like, Breath of the Wild is great, but I almost don't think about its launch gaminess in a lot of ways, right? Part of it's just when it came out, right? And there wasn't as much to prove or to innovate on, I suppose, even though it did innovate a lot. Didn't necessarily innovate in ways that were necessary to the Switch. I mean, heck, it wasn't even really a Switch game in a lot of ways, right? So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so yeah, as much as I would like to be clever and think of something besides Mario 64, I really can't. We'll leave it up to the community to maybe have some more interesting answers than that. Jeremy G says Pikmin in chat, and I am already like doing my well actually, and I get reprimanded by my friends a lot, Jeff, by being one of those actually people.
Sure, yeah, pedantic assholes. It's what makes this show work.
Yes, know-it-alls, but actually, Pikmin's not a launch game. It's a launch window game. All right, BG says, if it counts, I'm going with Twilight Princess for Wii. It does. Launching on GameCube and Wii felt surreal, and I ended up playing through both versions that holiday. Felt surreal then. Very close second is Excite Truck.
That's a good one.
You played through Twilight Princess on GameCube and Wii that holiday season.
I mean, listen.
That's interesting.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to ask, which one did you like more?
Oh, yeah. Because I think today, like the Wii one is the one most people played and remembered, but the GameCube one is the one where he's like left-handed and it's like the whole world's flipped and stuff. So I like, yeah.
Well, and that's the one that like the Wii U version's based off of, and I'm sure the Switch version's getting based off also. So it's like kind of like the canon version of the game, actually. Bench JC says Snipper Clips, the unsung hero of the Switch launch. Was such a fun time. Honestly, only ever played the demo, but played the demo so many times. I don't believe that this is actually your favorite launch game, Bench. I think that you're just afraid to be normies like me and Jeff and say Mario 64. Courageous Big Basketball says, rather than say the best or even second best, probably because, again, it's Mario 64 and Breath of the Wild, I'll give a shout out to the third best launch game, Luigi's Mansion on the GameCube.
It's a good one.
It is a good one. I don't even know if it's the best GameCube launch game, though, because we have Rogue Leader on there.
Yeah, I was going to say, oh, this is a good opportunity to talk about other ones we like from the GameCube, like Rogue Leader, which was that demo I played so many times, over and over and over, before I actually was able to like finally get the game. But I played that demo, I don't know, probably like 50 times.
I was watching just like some long ranking of every Star Wars game. So I think it was Triple Jump, that channel, and they had the original Rogue Squadron over Rogue Leader, and that made me unreasonably mad for some reason. I was upset.
It's a good game, but it's not as good as the GameCube ones.
Yeah. Alex says Twilight Princess. I can't believe we have 2 votes for Twilight Princess already. My siblings forced me to wait so they could play Wii Sports, and it was
I
easily the
think
most.
it's just the age of our listeners, Mike. Honestly,
And it was easily the most agonizing night as an 8-year-old because I just wanted to play this cool and edgy Zelda game. It was the first game in the series I had since Ocarina of Time, and I still absolutely adore it. You could have almost said Wii Sports, Jeff. I wonder if that was on your mind.
it was, yes, absolutely, and that's a really good answer. It absolutely is, and I'm sure we get to some of these people are in chat are saying some of the other ones that I bet we're going to get to before the end.
Pinball Jr. says Game Boy launched with Tetris, one of the best games ever made. I wasn't
Yep.
born when this happened, but playing it now, that version holds up incredibly well. Oh yeah, I mean that's a
Absolutely,
very
yep.
important launch game too.
Yes, it is.
Beef the Hammer says Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. It's pretty good. Yes, it is. MN
pretty
Goldie says
good.
for main consoles, the Super Mario World, the greatest Mario game. For portable consoles, it's Tetris, arguably the greatest game of all time. Nothing wrong with either of those. Dr. Turbo says Wii Sports made every single human alive on a Wii. I think comparison, yeah, in terms of like once again, like establishing what a console is and what the appeal of a system is going to be. Wii Sports should do a lot of work. Hosp says, literal answer for me, the only Nintendo console I had at launch was a Switch, so my very obvious and boring answer is Bomber Breath of the Wild. Yeah, so we find it with Bomberman. Casual says Super Monkey Ball. No game has quite defined a time and place like it. The GameCube launch was overall an embarrassment of riches between this, Luigi's Mansion, and Wave Race Blue Storm. He didn't even bring up Rogue Leader. I think Rogue Leader is my favorite of the GameCube launch games in retrospect. Gotta like that game. All right, time for the Dark Horse answer, says Wildfire Alex. My favorite Nintendo launch game of all time is Star Wars Rogue Leader. Rogue Squadron 2 for the GameCube. There we go. Up to this point, we had never truly seen a Star Wars flight simulator with damn near excellent visuals and mechanics such as this. Well, at least not on consoles. The original Rogue Squadron was already an awesome game, but the sequel turned that shit up to 11. It's easily one of the best Star Wars games out there, and it's definitely one of the greatest video game launch titles as well, possibly being the best GameCube launch title ever. Yeah, I agree with that. Even like towards the end of the GameCube's life, it still like was one of the best looking GameCube launch games.
Mm-hmm.
God, that's good. B Papa says my quick answer is Breath of the Wild since it's the best game ever. Was it really the best launch game ever? I don't think it had the same impact on setting the tone for the system the way that Super Mario Brothers, Tetris, or Wii Sports did, and I can't think of a compelling way to pick a winner between those three. Turns out Nintendo's pretty good launching system. So yeah, he's kind of echoing some of that stuff I was talking about earlier with Breath of the Wild, and I think that is true, and that's why I think Mario 64 so kind of counts the most for me.
Then Nintendo is weird, like Super Mario Brothers, because I would consider Super Mario Brothers to be a launch game for the Nintendo, absolutely. But it really launched with like what Rob the Robot and that stuff. So it's like a little bit weird, but I get what people mean when they say that. And that is a fantastic, like that was establishing what video games would be going forward in a way that it hadn't happened before.
Turbo Kodo, that's funny. Says Wii Sports sold me the console with playing on my friend's house for 10 minutes. The GOAT tier launch game, even though Resorts is a better game. Yeah,
Resorts is really good.
Turbo Madden says best, a boring answer, but it's Wii Sports. This game got my friends and family together to play many different games from bowling to baseball. I hadn't had my family that together over a video game since Star Wars Episode 1 Racer. My super unbiased honorable mention goes to Madden NFL 2002 for the GameCube because, well, it's Madden. Wii Sports is a pretty popular answer here, Jeff.
Yes, it should be. It deserves it.
Lausian says, true hardcore Nintendo gamers will reference Breath of the Wild as the answer and how it redefined the open world genre and its influence on the gaming industry. But to the mainstream and probably Nintendo themselves, the answer is Wii Sports. And the launch title, that launch title sold the console and widened the Nintendo reach and depths into the mainstream. I mean, even the current president of the United States played/mentioned the Wii and Wii Sports, and that concept and title even caught Microsoft and Sony flat-footed. Sure was a big deal.
I had a daydream the other day. It's not even like it's more shameful because it wasn't like a dream where I'm not in control. I imagined Nintendo sending Joe Biden Nintendo Switch Sports, and Joe Biden like making a big deal of like him playing Nintendo Switch Sports with like his family or something, and like making that like a photo opportunity and putting it on TV. So that's embarrassing.
Cat Guy Neko says, for me, it was Luigi's Mansion on GameCube. The jumping graphics just completely blew my little mind, and I'd show it off to anyone I could. Cronia says, if I look past some of the more obvious answers like Mario 64 and Tetris on the Game Boy, personally, the best launch title was Metroid Prime Hunters first hunt demo on the Nintendo DS. It was mind-blowing 3D on a handheld at the time, and I played a frankly absurd amount of the limited multiplayer mode. I mean, I did enjoy that demo quite a
Me
bit,
too.
Jeff. As
I played it a lot too.
uncomfortable as it was very cool.
I mean, because it was a demo, you like didn't have the context of like, is it going to be this is uncomfortable the whole time? Maybe it's different with the full game. So you like had all this hopefulness. But come on, the best DS launch game was Field of Magic XYXX. Come on.
I'm starting to get some people are like mention Mario 64, Jeff. I'm getting a little annoyed at how few people are actually saying it. Like there are people who aren't afraid to say Breath of the Wild.
Mike, I'm actually getting annoyed. Has anyone said Super Mario World yet?
One person said Super Mario World.
Yeah. Right.
That just the one. DK wants to fuck a piano bop. Says, how the hell are we 19 answers in before we get to our first Mario 64? Thank you, DK. Thank you, Bop. Like, I get the recency bias with Wii Sports Breath of the Wild, but this game defined the 3D genre, and it still holds up for the most part today. Yes, I agree. Can I call you Benji Bop? I agree, Benji Bop. Tink says, Breath of the Wild and Mario 64 seem like obvious answers here, but I'm going to go left field and say SimCity on the SNES was an amazing in-house console port that showed us that strategy games could make the jump from PC. I don't know. That might sound right. Not to mention the amazing soundtrack by Soyo Oka. I don't know. I believe it. I don't disbelieve that it's a launch game. You know, I never actually played this as a kid, so I don't know. I know people like it a lot. I had no idea it was supposed to be good. I think I looked at it and thought, well, that's weird. Why would I play SimCity on my Super Nintendo?
Yes, I totally understand that. But yeah, it's you got Will Wright as an advisor in there, and I think that Will Wright shows up in Link's Awakening as Mr. Wright, and like but it's spelled a little bit different, but he can like write a letter to a goat. So I don't know if they were. I think Nintendo was calling him a goat fucker. Basically, is what I've been trying to say here.
Sorry, you really threw me off with that.
Turbo Shot says, man, Nintendo said it, not me. Nintendo said it, not me. It was Miyamoto.
Turbo Miyamoto's like, hello, I am Mario's father, and also Will Wright fucks goats. Turbo Shot says,
fun.
I gotta go with Breath of the Wild. Not only was it an incredible, revolutionary game, the Switch version clearly demonstrated Nintendo's vision for the new system, especially when compared to the Wii U version. High quality console games that you can play on the big screen or take with you on the go, completely untethered from a base station, unlike the prior generation. Yeah, Turbo Shot kind of made it better. Like I was saying, like, oh, you know, did this really show off the Switch in any way? And I guess, like, yeah, I didn't think about that. It certainly did make it clear how much better the Switch was at being a tablet kind of system than the Wii U, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yes, it really did.
Jayton says, Breath of the Wild is the best, but I think another great one is Majora's Mask 3DS with the new 3DS, only because of that shiny gold new 3DS XL. I had one, it was amazing. I was about to say Majora's Mask. Like, all right. Well, the new 3DS isn't its own platform like this Game Boy Color is, though, so I don't know about this. Reese Elliott says, apart from the obvious answer of Breath of the Wild, I have to go with Super Mario 64 DS. Just seeing a 3D game from my early childhood on a handheld blew my 15-year-old mind away. Top of that, it has some genuinely cool mini games. A bomb slingshot game sticks in my mind. Bear in mind that this was a long time before mobile gaming, so the touchscreen games were unique and genuinely fun. Maybe Nintendo Chickens will take its crowd someday. A man can hope. Kyle Gradable. Let's go Kyle Gradable.
Kai Degradable, whatever. I don't know.
Yeah. Kyle Gradable says, the best Nintendo launch game is without doubt Wii Sports. If you walk into any home with the Wii, you knew you were in for a good time. Everyone, their actual mothers, owned it and enjoyed at least one of the activities they had to offer. It was so good that you didn't need to own any other game on Wii. There's a lot of Wii Sports answers.
Yep.
Brian says, objectively, I would say Tetris for the portables and Breath of the Wild for the home consoles, but subjectively, I can't help but think fondly of Nintendo Land for the Wii U. My siblings and I got my siblings and I got so much mileage out of the minigames on it in ways that the other games I mentioned couldn't. Not to mention the F-Zero and Legend of the Zelda ones were pretty fun when playing alone. Is anyone going to actually say F-Zero now that I think about it, Jeff?
Probably not. Probably why Nintendo doesn't make them.
Nintendo Pro says, I'm having a hard time deciding between the great fun that is Ridge Racer DS and the Metroid Prime Hunters demo. I realized that it's just that a demo that showed that a dual screen device had a lot of potential, expanding the genres of handheld games. Ridge Racer is, well, it's Ridge Racer as a compliment to the highest degree. Just kidding. It's Super Mario 64 and nothing else even comes close. Yeah, I think that might actually be. I think that's right, Nintendo Bro. Thank you. God Rizla says, best launch game for me is Luigi's Mansion for the GameCube. I can't believe Luigi's Mansion maybe has as many answers as Mario 64, Jeff. More significantly more answers than Super Mario World, by the way.
I spent like 25 minutes this morning watching a video about a guy. He's like, I completely rewrote the code to Mario 64 to make it run faster and on an N64. I'm like, fuck yeah, that's a good use of your time. Because Mario 64 is a classic and deserves all our love, and our audience just doesn't get it.
Yeah, apparently not. God Rosa continues. Luigi finally getting his own time in the limelight, and it being such a shift from the Mario formula was so fantastic. I replayed that game over and over as a teen. What Up versus CPU says, Steel Diver, Zelda Breath of the Wild. Link's Awakening DX came out in the Game Boy Color launch window just a month after the Game Boy Color launch. Does that count? I'm going to say it does. That's my runner-up. Well, I'm going to say it doesn't count, damn it. No launch window.
Because it's not a separate platform.
Shut the hell up, Jeff. Soon I'm going to be able to actually attack you for saying this shit. It's going to feel so good.
I'll just defend myself with my Game Boy Color.
Newfie Legit says it has to be the GOAT. Halo Combat Evolved. Oh, wait, wrong system. Mario 64. There you go. I do actually think Mario 64 and Halo are probably the two just best answers in general for if you're talking best launch games ever.
Yeah.
Velocity Prime 1 says all the obvious answers are taken. So let's say Face Raiders. Man. There's a name I haven't heard about in a long time. Blah, blah, blah.
Oh man, whenever I load that up, it's just my cat. Still, it was just like I took a picture of my cat like day one, and it's been cute. That ever since.
Revan says, for once I can't make it about StarCraft 64, so I'll go with Seikyo Habu Soji because I don't like 3D platformers and board game video games are never bad. Well, I'm gonna take his word on that one, Jeff. Don't know what that is.
Yeah, I don't know. Is that?
I bet it's great.
Yeah, I was gonna like wager a guess on that, but I don't know what it is either.
Jake Bogdanov says, ignoring the obvious answer, Breath of the Wild, I'm gonna have to go with Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 on Game Boy Advance. That game blew my mind. It looks so great, and levels are really, really, really well recreated in ways that probably shouldn't have worked, but were glorious. Is this our first Game Boy Advance answer? We don't have any Circle of the Moon love out here.
Oh fuck, Circle of the Moon is such a good launch game. Jesus.
Yeah. Mr. Bowler says most correct answers like Tetris and Breath of the Wild are obvious, so why not mention one of the weirdest Nintendo launch titles? Feel the Magic XYXX for the Nintendo DS.
Hey, someone actually said it. Oh my god.
Yeah, there we go. Developed by Sonic Team, Feel the Magic involves you trying to impress the girl of your dreams through a series of mini games utilizing the DS touchscreen and microphone. Helping you are a group of men with rabbit ears called the Rub Rabbits. Overall, it's a strange game that actually does a decent job of showing off some of the new features the DS had to offer. And the DS launched with a lot of minigame compilations. At least this one was kind of weird and wacky and fun. And
it's like Elite Beat Agents, but with an emphasis on beat.
Yeah, with more. It's Elite Beat Agents with more perverts.
Yes.
Turbo Obama says Breath of the Wild by far for me. I know it launched on the Wii U first, but I think it should still count. Did it even launch first? I forgot.
Same time. Same day.
Same time. Yeah. One of the greatest games of all time that truly brought freedom to open world games. Shout out to Wii Sports, also for being the best tech demo style launch game ever. Jumpmat says Super Mario 64 and Breath of the Wild are my two favorite video games of all time, but Tetris is the perfect launch title. It fully holds up, shows what you can do with a handheld, and proved that video games are for everyone. Gerbear said Castlevania Cirque. Wait, why has no one said Super Mario Brothers? It definitely launched along the NES over here anyway. I guess as Europeans being forced to wait worked out for once. It never happened again. Yeah, it is funny. I mean, you think somebody would... I know like there's like some weird contentious with just how the NES was released in America in general. And
I almost said Super Mario Brothers. That was almost going to be my answer.
Ed says Red Steel on Wii. I was too young to truly notice the gameplay flaws. All I knew was I could use the Wiimote as a gun and katana, and it was awesome.
Now people are purposely saying "fuck you" to Super Mario 64 at this point, Mike.
I know.
Red Steel.
Red Steel. I mean, look, no one wants to say the obvious answer. They're not brave like we are, Jeff.
Mm-hmm.
And then
so brave.
Newfie Legit just said, yeah, underrated game on Red Steel. Maybe. That is it with the community answers here, Jeff.
All right. Well, I got some here in Stream Elements. Let's see here. I'm going to work my way backwards. Yeah,
you can just read all the super chats.
Okay. From T-Bucket23, I want to say Super Mario World is a better game than launch titles such as Luigi's Mansion and Wii Sports, but I played Super Mario World way after it launched. I mean, that doesn't like invalidate your answer. Yeah, because Super Mario World is fantastic to this day. Chris says it's Super Mario World for me. Every song in the game is a remix of the same melody. Come on, the gameplay and art holds up way better than Super Mario 64's, in my opinion. I mean, that's just true for every Super Nintendo game, but Super Mario 64 holds up better than any other game of the 16 or 64 or 32-bit era. So, I mean, yeah. Dan Becker, this was not related to the topic. He says, my buddy and I always got a laugh out of the 1080 character select music. Sounded like Work Your Mommy. Give it a listen. As soon as I read this, I'm like, oh my God, it is like work your mommy will work your mommy. Work your mommy will work your mommy. I'm like, now that's stuck in my head. So thanks a lot, Dan Becker. Let's see, J. Stun McLovin. Fave launch games were Rogue Leader and Super Monkey Ball. Bought before the console launched and stared at the box art for a week.
I remember back when that was a thing
that.
you could do.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember. It was so exciting that first time you went to like GameStop or whatever. It's like, oh, you could buy GameCube games now. Wow, that's crazy.
He said, waited at Walmart for midnight Cube launch with friends. Good times, man. Let's see, Lost Boys Gaming. Speaking of launch games, will Breath of the Wild 2 be a launch game for Switch 2/Pro in spring? Or are we further out from the Switch 2 than that? We think we're a little bit further out from the Switch 2 than that.
Yeah.
But I mean, who knows? Nintendo could go wild on us and maybe do a Pro still. I just don't believe it anymore. Supernova, any chance for new Wario World? Or is he considered dead IP? Woof, woof. I mean, I think they go back to Wario Land here eventually. I think it's like a franchise that's bound to return.
Yeah, but I mean, it could maybe be 3D-ish. You know, again, look at how much better Kirby and the Forgotten Land is probably doing than Kirby Star Allies, right? So
Right.
maybe they will be like, they'll look at that tier of franchises again, like that in Yoshi, and say, let's bring them back. But yeah, let's, they don't have to be as ambitious as a Mario Odyssey, but we can make these 3D platformers.
Poston Theory, who's wondering why I always wave the chat. It's when people tune in and say, hello, hi, I'm just tuning in. How's it going, Jeff? And I just wave. He says his answer is Rogue Squadron 2 Rogue Leader, which is a fantastic answer. Absolutely. All right. I think we're getting some of the other super chats. This one's from Hitch. I wish Kingdom Hearts would go to Steam. I do too.
Me too.
It's on Epic, right?
It's on Epic, and yeah, I really want to be on Steam just to make it easier when I get a Steam Deck.
Yes,
so I can
absolutely.
play it on there.
Someone asked if I got Epic Games running on my Steam Deck. I haven't. I keep encountering small issues. I'm not sure if there's like one solution for that yet. I haven't like desperately needed to play an Epic game so much that it's like, oh, I got to get this working and I need to go figure out the solution. But I'll probably do that pretty soon. From Georgie, thoughts, or he says, Jeff, thoughts on Certain Affinity Halo 343. I mean, this is good news for people who really want to make sure they get content out of Halo. I think Halo's foundation is really solid. What it needs is content. Certain Affinity has provided content for Halo games for 15 years. They've also been doing that with Call of Duty games. If they focus all of their efforts beyond like the Monster Hunter game, the Monster Hunter style game that they're making alongside of this stuff, that's good news for Halo fans. Hopefully they could drop just a cool big mode. I think if Certain Affinity does focus on a Battle Royale mode based on the map that is in Halo right now, that's something that would really turn that game around. I'm not of the opinion necessarily needs to be turned around, but I get everyone else is like, we need more content right now. So hopefully that's exactly what this is. Let's see, from D Jones, what is the most nostalgia goggled game series and why is it Kingdom Hearts? Mike?
Well, what do you mean? So you're saying that it's not actually good? It's just that people liked it when they were growing up. Is that what you're saying? Wow.
I think that's what D Jones is saying.
I guess we'll find. So Kingdom Hearts 3 was probably always going to sell well because of that, maybe. So we'll see how Kingdom Hearts 4 does, right? Because if it's a matter of nobody liked Kingdom Hearts 3, so people don't care as much. Like these days, like the next game should always sell better than the last one, right? So if Kingdom Hearts 4 sells worse than Kingdom Hearts 3,
I mean, unless there's like some sort of
Stockholm
Stockholm syndrome with the fans and the series and stuff like that, and maybe that's what's happening with Kingdom Hearts.
I'm not like, what else would that answer be? It's hard to say.
Oh yeah, I don't. Yeah.
Like maybe Duke Nukem was never actually very good. I don't know.
No.
Is that brave a thing to say anymore?
Yeah, I think
Earthworm Jim's a good one for you, Jeff. I know.
Earthworm Jim that is definitely nostalgia goggled. Absolutely. Anything from Dave Perry basically is nostalgia goggled, except for maybe Aladdin for Genesis, which I'll play again here pretty soon. I actually just put it on the Steam Deck, so maybe I'll change my opinion on it. Maybe that's the good Dave Perry game. From George, Dogs, who's more of a Sora, who's more of a Riku? Like, I answer this question. Which between you and me, which one's more Riku and which one's more Sora? Sora
is more just like happy-go-lucky, innocent. friendly guy, and Sora's a slight edge lord. So I guess I don't know. I'm very antagonistic towards you, like Riku is. I might just be both, and
Yes. You also
you're
wear
like
giant clown shoes.
you're like the kid version of Waka who's on Destiny Island. That's who you are. You
I
get left
mean,
behind. You do
I
not
think
get to come on our
I'm pretty
adventure.
offended, I think. I don't know if I should be, but I am.
Yeah, that's good.
Let's be real. You guys are Donald and Goofy.
Yes, actually, absolutely. I am Donald and Jeff is Goofy. That is way more accurate.
That's very good, Turbo Sean. Yep.
Yes, 1,000,000%.
Okay, kiddo. Well, we'll go watch the Spider-Man show here in a second. I'll get it playing for you. Just hold on.
Well, she's over Lilo and Stitch. What the heck?
I wonder if it's over. Is it over? It can't be over.
It might be actually. Huh, now I think about it.
Might be coming to an end. Uriel Delgado, I spent two... Oh, wait, no. Let me start from the beginning. If a wizard were to use alchemy on the two of you to turn you into oxygen molecules, you would both be small, which is associated with cute things, so you'd be both small and breathable.
Wow.
Breathable.
Yeah, I get... wow.
So Uriel Delgado followed that up. I'll say that was a $10 super chat, so kind of paying his way in to be able to make the joke.
Yeah, you can say anything you want for $10.
Yeah, and he said, I spent too much time on that. Was it good? Side note, if Kingdom Hearts 4 has a Spider-Man level, I'm guessing the game is PS5 exclusive. That's not necessarily how it would work, because Spider-Man was in Ultimate Marvel thing 3.
I don't think it's going to be Spider-Man. I predicted Thor, so and if not Thor, I would actually go Doctor Strange next for whatever reason.
Yeah,
but I'm thinking Thor.
All right, Hitch just sent in one. Says, when is Wolfenstein 3 and Gears Collection coming? I have no idea about a Gears Collection, and Wolfenstein 3 seems like it's in a holding pattern while that studio works on Indiana Jones, which is a shame. I wish they would just get Wolfenstein 3 out, but it seems like it's going to take a lot longer. I mean, I absolutely do too, but I want to kill Mecha Hitler before.
I was because I did that story about predicting Kingdom Hearts worlds, and I was thinking, are they going to do Indiana Jones?
That would be fun.
I talked myself out of it. I mean, I know they don't have to include Nazis in there, but still, the taint of Nazis is like, right. I don't know if this is going to be a kingdom. I don't know if they're quite ready for that.
That does it for the super chats, Mike. We're all caught up.
All right, Jeff. Have you been playing anything on your Switch this week?
I've been putting more time into Kirby. That game it's good. It's like I like the way that they like break up the levels with like the side levels, which are kind of just like really short bonus things, and it adds to the pacing.
Yes, that's good.
And each level is about like discovering like what the new mouthful mode is going to do or something like that. I don't know. I've been really getting into it, and the bosses actually are engaging. I wouldn't call any of them hard so far, but they're engaging in a way that like early in a Kirby game you would usually not see this sort of like, okay, right. You got to be on your toes and actually do some use some of the mechanics. I've been enjoying that.
I hope you keep going, because I really want you to do those final bosses and also do the end game stuff, because it actually sometimes get challenging, and it is really fun.
Yes, when that happens. That's what I've heard. I am going to finish it. I'm going to see it through. It's a really good game. It's really, really good.
I just been playing some random NSO games, especially last night as I was staying up waiting for the news on the baby. But so I played through Sonic 2 because the movie. I like Sonic 2, so very good. I wonder, is it a hot take if people like Sonic 1 the most of all the Genesis games? I feel like no one ever says that. And I think it might actually be right. I tell you, Sonic 1, I almost said I'll tell you what. But I'll tell you what, Sonic 1 almost certainly has the best soundtrack of the Genesis games. Like
of the Genesis Sonic games or all Genesis games?
Well, maybe actually of all Genesis games too. But
I mean, Streets of Rage 2 is right there.
Yeah, I guess Streets of Rage 2 is probably the right answer. You're right.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sonic 1 soundtrack is very good. Sonic Adventure 2 has some weird songs. I feel like everyone does say Sonic 2 is much better. I think it's close at least, but I always feel like people are weird on something. Yeah, I see a Turbo Sean. Sonic 1 aged like milk? No way. Sonic 1 is still fantastic. I think its levels thematically are also a little better and more interesting. Starlight Zone. I also don't mind not having the spin dash. I think that's fine, and it works well in a game designed around that. So Sonic 1's is Sonic 1 brutal? I feel like it's not too bad. compared to.
I just don't know if I ever liked any of those Sonic games.
Jeff, you don't like that many Genesis games. You don't like the Sonic games. You don't like Aladdin for the Genesis. You're going through your thing. There's some other Genesis games like I didn't like that game.
I mean, they're all no Vector Man.
You're a 16-bit Nintendo fanboy. Just admit it.
Wow, I like how that's how you got to go to. I honestly, Mike, maybe those games just aren't very good.
That must be what it is. They're just not very good.
They're not. They're just not fun. The Sonic games are like you run and then okay, whatever. This like
you run and jump. Wow, not at all like Mario.
You run and jump. It's like you run and jump until you run into something, and it's like, oh, okay, I'm not running anymore. So now it's time to do some precision platforming with Sonic, who's so good at that.
Yes, it's fine. It works very well.
It is not fine. It sucks balls. I hate it.
Oh my god, you're awful.
Sonic Mania is pretty good.
Sonic Mania is fantastic because it plays like Sonic 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, I don't know.
Now Turbo Sean's on my side. There you go. I think all of your bad Genesis opinions are still tainted by your memories of the console wars, Jeff. I'll say it.
I don't think. I mean, the Aladdin for Genesis is one I came around to very recently. I thought I liked the Aladdin for Genesis for a very long time. So, and then I played it again. I'm like, no, it just actually is just kind of not that much fun. I'm trying to think what are my favorite Genesis games.
You can't even name 5 Genesis games you love, Mister. I don't hate the Genesis.
Was it Forbidden Planet? What is that one shooter? No, it's that one shooter, Forgotten Worlds or something. Genesis? Yeah, Forgotten Worlds, I think, is what it is. I like that one a lot. I like Toe Jam and Earl, even though I know it's a weird one. Okay, let me see what the best Genesis.
Oh my god, I'm gonna have to tell you some of them. I know that you like.
Oh yes. Right. What's the Gunstar Heroes?
I know you like Gunstar Heroes and Contra
rules.
Hardcore, and you like Streets of Rage 2. So there's some.
Streets of Rage 2, also yes.
I need to play Shinobi 3.
I actually like Altered Beast for like being a launch game.
I mean, it's fine for what it is.
It's fine for what it is.
Much better Genesis games.
Oh yes, absolutely yes. And but I like those there was a Golden Axe I think I liked. I guess maybe I just like the
Golden Axe.
Yeah, it's probably just Golden Axe. Contra Hardcore. There's a lot of good. Shinobi 3 is good. Although I only played that recently. I only played that recently.
I love Shinobi 3.
Kid Chameleon's not good.
No, it's not. No. You're right.
Yes.
I mean, it's okay. Its whole thing is that it has a zillion levels. It's like I don't want to play that many levels of this. Actually,
Castle of Illusion, starring Mickey Mouse,
fantastic.
Is really good. I love that game. Yeah, Quackshot with
Donald Duck is very good. Okay, Jeff.
There's a lot of good Genesis games. I never played First Ops Y.
All right. Well, I guess you just have bad opinions about Sonic and Kingdom Hearts. Then.
I mean, Sonic is just like it's not for me.
Oh my god. But after that, then I went to the Super Nintendo library looking for something to play, and I never played Wild Guns very much, and that is a very good game. I liked that a lot. It's a gallery shooter, which usually is not a good genre for the 16-bit generation, but they make it work because you're not just controlling the crosshair with your D-pad; it also kind of controls your
I love Wild Guns.
Character.
Yes, Wild Guns is so good.
It is super fun. I know that there was a sort of remaster/remake that came out not too long ago that is also supposed to be good, so I need to check that out. But I was having a lot of fun just playing through this on the Switch, just kind of going through the whole game in one sitting, having a fantastic time. I love the way you like dodge roll to avoid the enemy bullets. It just never didn't feel satisfying. So I feel like that's a game. If you haven't tried it on the NSO, the Super Nintendo stuff, like if you only played your Marios, your Zeldas, and your Metroids, you should probably try out Wild Guns. I thought that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's on Steam. Wild Guns Reloaded, but I feel like
the one.
I feel like it's got very positive on Steam, so it must be a good port.
People like it. So it's basically the original game. They added 2 new characters. There's a couple new levels even, I think. But yeah, it's not like anything super crazy. So that's why it's probably good.
Yeah, I'm going to play some of that because I love that game when I was growing up.
Good.
Yeah.
It's also would be a fun co-op game, perhaps. So.
Yeah.
All right, Jeff. So
I got another super chat here real quick. David Cass JRPG says can't watch live, but thank you for this title, Jeff. And let's see, what did I make the title?
I hope it comes out on the Switch. I hope that Kingdom Hearts 4 comes out on the Switch, and you all. Not only that, but I hope it like stealth downloads like that one YouTube album did that one time. Right. I hope you all have to install it on your Switch. You can't delete it.
It says at least Switch owners will avoid Kingdom Hearts 4, as if it were a plague of some sort. So
wow, no, you're all in trouble. You're all in big trouble. Jack, talking about NSO, our topic for next week is going to be what is one NES game that you want on Nintendo Switch Online.
NES.
NES. We're starting with NES. We'll probably run the gauntlet here.
Yeah.
But I figured we could start with NES and then see where that takes us. So think about that. What is the one NES game that you think is missing the most from that lineup?
Yeah, someone chat. So Steam Deck will be my emulation machine. I got, it's not the Switch, but I got a bunch of emulation stuff set up on the Steam Deck because there's been a lot of improvements over the last few weeks, and it runs very well now because you could just set up emulation station and you're just picking from all your different stuff. And I was set it up on Donnie's and I set up on mine last night. I was getting Donnie set up. I sent his off back to him, but it's really good now. And so I've been playing some NES and Super Nintendo games and N64 games on there. I was playing Excite Bike. And the really good thing about Emu Deck, the thing that sets up these emulators on the Steam Deck, is it configures everything for you so the controls just work. And that was very nice because it's very frustrating to open Excite Bike in an emulator and be like, how do I get it so I can slide? Where's the right button for that? And you have to set it up each time. It just works on the Steam Deck now, and that's fantastic. So I highly recommend if you're getting a Steam Deck for that, go through the Emu Deck setup process. It's super easy and worth trying out.
Yes, get all that stuff figured out before mine comes in, Jeff. The good.
Oh yeah, it's super easy now. It's all figured out now. It's a couple button presses at this point.
Good. Yes, make it even easier for Mikey. Make it so Mikey just a blink twice, and I get all my Rocket Knight games. I'll be happy.
I'm gonna hit the outro button because I'm realizing in 3 minutes I got to leave to go pick up Emmy. Yeah,
that's all right. I got stuff to get ready for too. All right, everyone. Thanks for listening. You can find more of us at gamesbeats.com. Check me out at twitter.com/Tokoto. Twitch.tv/Tokoto. We're still playing through those Monkey Island games. We will be back on Friday with GameSpeak Decides. Jeff.
I'm Jeff Grubb on Twitter. I'm Jeff Grubb on Twitch. I've been streaming randomly here. I was doing a couple of Steam Deck streams. Might do some more of that. That's a pretty chill time. People hang out for that stuff. But we'll be playing some games here with the community and things like that. So keep an eye out for that. Our next Jeopardy game is probably coming up in the next week or two, right?
Yeah, you gotta get that ringer you've been talking about.
I think we'll be good. So yeah, join the Discord, discord.gg/game mess, and then join the Patreon, patreon.com/game mess, or join the channel, YouTube right here. Come hang out with us, and you can watch that Jeopardy game live. Thanks everybody for tuning in. It was a good show this week. Bye, everybody.
Buy a shirt.
Buy a shirt.
Bye.